Blog Talk Radio.
Off on another episode of Tarot Today, the radio show and podcast that brings you the world of tarot, and we've been doing it for 12 years. I'm your host, Dax Carlisle, coming to you live from Tucson, Arizona. I'm the founder and president of the Tarot Guild, the international organization for tarot lovers, students, and professional readers, now in our 18th year. And we're a live call-in show. That's right. In fact, it's open lines and free mini readings all show long. Give us a ring at 714-816-4628. As soon as you get through, press 1 on your dial pad so we get you into the caller queue. We take the calls in the order that they come in. 714-816-4628. And joining me, as always, is my fabulous co-host. She is the vice president of the Tarot Guild, the director of communications for the Guild. She's also a professional tarot reader and crystal Reiki master. Here she is live from Amarillo, Texas, the fabulous Mary Brown. Hey, Mary.
Hey, Dax. Hey, everybody. Happy Psychic Saturday.
Happy Psychic Saturday. Oh, my God, we actually made it on air.
It's really a good feeling, isn't it? Compared to the last time.
Compared to last week, yeah. So for those that don't know, last week we're all set to do the show. We have the fabulous Radleigh Valentine coming on, prolific deck creator and top Hay House author. And Radleigh's just fabulous. And we're all set, all of us, and we can't call into the show. Blog Talk was all messed up and, having technical problems. So we quickly jumped on a Zoom call, the three of us, Radleigh Valentine, Mary, and myself, and we just recorded it that way. And, God, Rad is such a trooper. He was totally down. He's like, oh, yeah, let's, switch gears. And we got that into the can, and now it's available for you guys. In fact, if you go to thetarotguild.com, if you're listening to us, live or within the next few days, you're going to find it right on the main page. You just go to thetarotguild.com. The YouTube video version is like embedded right there in the middle of the page. Just click play. And you always can find this stuff, in our archive. You can go to the video section, for instance, on the Tarot Guild website. It has all of our past shows, as well as lots of other cool videos and stuff. And under our news section, there's always a post. So that was fantastic. I had such a great time with Radleigh.
I had such a great time, too. He was wonderful, and it was such a great, great, great conversation. And really, for those of you that are really into YouTube and you subscribe to channels to keep up with what's going on, you have to subscribe to our YouTube channel because all of our shows are there too. And it's just quick, hit the button and listen to them all. Listen to them all, but listen to Radleigh's first.
Right. Yep. You can find us on YouTube. It's under the Tarot Guild. And Psychic Talk Radio as well.
Yeah, can't miss it.
I'm excited for today's show.
Like, subscribe, share.
join our groups. We've got 7,000 people on a Tarot Guild group, on Facebook. We've got the Psychic Talk radio group. Mary posts her card of the day every day, which we're going to do in just a minute here. I just wanted to mention, I started to say I'm excited about today's show because we haven't done, open lines and everything since our last Psychic Spin, and there's a lot of phone calls on the switchboard, Mary.
Awesome. I'm excited too. We've got a great question for Psychic Spin too later.
That's right. I'm trying to remember here where that came from. I was listening to, I think it was a Joe Rogan podcast, and he had on a physicist, or I think he was a cosmologist, which is a type of physicist anyway. Physics, folks.
Not a cosmetologist. A cosmologist.
Yeah. I love when people mess that up. And they were talking about a lot of different things, the origin of the universe, that kind of thing. But the main thing that came up, and what they ended up titling the clip was, is the universe developing a consciousness? So, just how life has evolved on our planet, getting ever more complex to the point of sentience, in us, the humans. And, of course, most highly developed life forms on our planet are conscious, maybe not entirely sentient in the way we are, but, dolphins, oh my God, they have almost the same brain we do. They have a big brain, and, and a lot of other animals, and those that are like you, Mary, you have your animals. As we know from our pet psychics that we've had on the network, they communicate. They have feelings, things like that. Yeah. But the point of this was that, life getting ever more complex, to the point where it develops consciousness, develops sentience. Now, first of all, is that what's really going on? And then number two is, the universe is expanding and is becoming more complex, and, is it developing a consciousness? Did it always have a consciousness? What's going on with that, is kind of what, Joe Rogan and his guests were bandering back and forth. And so I just sent the title to you, when I saw that, and said, hey, Psychic Spin, yep, here's a great topic. Yeah. Is the universe developing consciousness? Yeah. So we'll get to that in just a little bit here.
Yes.
Awesome sauce. So let me give out the phone number one more time, 714-816-4628. You press 1 as soon as you get through. That puts you in the caller queue in the order that you called in. And just, hold fast there so you don't lose your spot in the caller queue. 714-816-4628. You can also join us in the chat room over at thetarotguild.com/chat. And I'm in there with, let's see, Kind Human is in there. Don't know who that is. Do you know you? And Sharona's in there, and Mary's in there. Kind Human. Yeah, if you don't put your name in when you go to the chat room, it'll assign a name, but you can change that. I think it's on the wheel. Hi, Little Fairy. Yeah, you just go to the click the wheel, click change nickname, and you can also put in your photo and everything, which is really cool. And Danny. Okay, Danny. All righty. So you can also ask questions, chat about the topic, pull cards along with us, and ask for a mini reading right in the chat room. Yes, Psychic Talk. It's thetarotguild.com/chat. And if you're already on thetarotguild.com, if you're like on a desktop, you're going to find chat as in the navigation bar at the top of any page on the far right. If you're on a phone or a pad or some smaller device, you're going to have to hit the hamburger icon there and click chat. Awesome. And there's a player right on the page. You can listen to all of our shows live while you're in the chat room there. You only have to be on one page. Makes it very convenient. So what'd you get for a card of the day today, and what deck?
Oh, well, I used the Enchanted Unicorn Oracle by Priestess Moon, and this is from Rockpool Publishing, and it's really a fascinating deck. It's kind of based on the Voynich manuscript, if anybody is familiar with that. And the card I pulled was card 28, Ignite. The message is opportunities flowing in. And the artwork is based on the gazania flower, which is a gorgeous red and yellow striped flower associated with power and creativity. And this card in the deck, Priestess Moon describes it as the boom card, meaning physical and emotional and spiritual blocks are being blasted away with fresh new energy. All your old stale patterns are going to be replaced, and you're going to have to hold on to your hat when this card appears. You're about to be offered plenty of new opportunities for growth. So I thought that's pretty exciting. And if any of you are interested, we would love it if you checked out our Psychic Talk Radio Network Facebook group. We have a group and a page. You can go to psychictalk.net/Facebook, like our page, join our group. You'll see all our cards of the day, cards of the week, whatever you want to call them. And join the conversation we have on there. It's a great way to keep up with what's going on with all the radio shows. So that's what I got. What about you, Dax?
So my card, the Magician card, goes along really well with what you were just talking about, I think. It
does. Magician is what? Number one. And the number I had was 28. And that's a 10, which reduces to a 1. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Go ahead.
Oh,
what happened?
It gets better. It gets better than that. Wait till I talk about the numerology for today's date. One thing I wanted to mention, sometimes the universe just winks at you, and this is, something that happened when I pulled this card, and then usually I do the numerology and then I pull the card. Well, I pulled the card, did the numerology, and I'm like, oh, okay. But just now as you were reading, talking about your card of the day, I'm listening and I glance at the laptop at the time, and it's 11:11. Earlier, before the show started, when I brought you into the green room and we were chatting before the show, when I brought you in, I glanced at the countdown timer on the studio for when we were about to go live on air, and it was 11:11, 11 minutes 11 seconds. Whoa, yes. And then if you add up June 25th, 2022, of course, we already know the world year number is 6. 2022, 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6, reduces to 6. Today's a 7-day, 2 plus 5 is 7. And then, of course, the month is the 6th. And you add those numbers together and reduce, and actually you get 10, and 1 plus 0 is 1. So what? I got 1. You got 1. I got 1 in the numerology. You got 1 in your card. I got 1 in my card. So, 1 is all about new beginnings and self and just, going for stuff. I mean, you could be so creative today. I actually pulled a couple supplementary cards. I often do that, and I got the 8 of coins. 8 is abundance in numerology, working on a project or your craft developing skills, putting out product. Maybe you're starting a video YouTube channel and get those videos in the can kind of thing. Maybe you're writing a book. He's actually reading a book in this version of the card, Ciro Marchetti's Grand Lux. And the King of Cups, a lot of this stems around the thing we always forget, because we're, using our passion, our mental energy, even spirituality, but we often forget the emotional component. And that, the King of Cups is in the highest position as far as emotional development, very empathic, but doesn't get rattled. He's very firmly ensconced in it and has control over his emotions. And I really feel that's a key. Another thing that I feel, and it's very interesting because I was just talking about, the dolphins and in this particular card, there's all the sea life like that swimming around the King of Cups in this particular version of the card. I love it. Synchronicities abound today, Mary. And I think another aspect is as you manifest, and that's what it all comes down to. That's what the one cards are about, the one energy, and especially the magician is manifesting. And this is just a great day for this. And I also feel, when I looked at the King of Cups, first thing that came to mind is get near water. Do it. Get near the water. So like if you live near a lake or a stream or a river or the ocean or a pond, or if worse comes to worse, jump in the swimming pool, take an Epsom salt bath, take a long shower, get into water, get near water, ground yourself, and just let the manifestations flow today. You can manifest anything right now. And the other thing is, the day energy is that 25-7 energy. That's the natural detective. It's the highest spiritual energy. Anything you do today in manifesting and using your psychic abilities, I don't want to say religious, but like spiritual practices, spiritual ritual. And also it's a great day just for exploration of any kind with that 7 energy, the natural detective. So exploring what it is you want to manifest, what you need to know about that, a project you're working on, doing the research. Great day for research, great day to do, for instance, genealogy and genealogy charts and that kind of thing. So there you go. That's what I got for numerology card of the day.
Wow. So many synchronicities, and we're just getting started.
Just getting started. Hey, before we get to our Psychic Spin segment, why don't we take a couple phone calls, see what's going on?
That sounds like a great idea. Let's do it.
Okay. First of all, hold on. Logistics, folks. I actually have to, physically gather my cards together here and shuffle a little bit. Let's see who's out there and has been waiting the longest. It looks like area code 216. I'm trying to shuffle here.
Hello.
Caller, are you there? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Sharon from Ohio. How are you?
Hi, Sharon. Oh, doing good.
Oh, wonderful.
What do you want to chat about today? It's
nice.
Open.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. It's 100 degrees here, and
wow.
I was just saying it's open lines. Whatever you want to talk about, we're here.
Whatever. Well, could you guys give me just a general reading? If I could ask you just coming up in the next 90 days, can you do that?
Like what? Yeah, sure.
Just
What
like
are you?
a general reading, what you see coming up, what I need to know for the next 90 days. How's that?
Sounds good to me. Okay.
Let's see.
Look here. And so the next 90 days. All right. I guess, should I go first?
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm still pulling cards.
Okay. So what I do is I divided that into thirds, so the next 30 days. Oh, wow. Okay, so the next 30 days, I would kind of manage our expectations about that. I have the 8 of Swords, okay? And the 10 of Swords comes up along with the Hierophant card. And so what that's telling me is that it's all about trying to get some clarity and also to remember that, we can get too caught up in our head. We can overthink things, and we can kind of feel like, I can't see the forest for the trees, and what's going on here. 10 of Swords is kind of an interesting card because that can, kind of be a message to us that, like, look, whatever we're going through in this period of time that we're talking about, the next 30 days, is like as bad as it gets, So if something happens where you feel like, I've reached my limitation, or I feel like I can't go any further with this, whatever it might be, just know that, like, it really is okay. It's okay that sometimes things run their course, all right? And this is interesting because the one thing that sort of connects these things together, and the 8 of Swords also is a card that can often be about either avoidance or interference of something,
Okay.
but it's all happening in the mind, so it's like either we're avoiding, like, really examining something, or we're letting our thoughts interfere, in such a way that it's like making us feel trapped, okay? The Hierophant card that comes up with this is really interesting. So the Hierophant, in one way you could look at that as like representing, like spirituality. In some decks it's referred to as the High Priest. But, to me the Hierophant often has to do with like education or a mentor or something that we are studying, and usually, that can be like in a more formal setting or studying with somebody. So, you might look at it like this, is like, is there something that you're trying to learn more about, or maybe even someone who is like a spiritual mentor, or a mentor of any kind to you, that maybe we've gotten as far as we can get with that person, okay? And at the same time, we're avoiding, like, kind of maybe facing that. So I don't know. That's what comes up for the next 30 days. Just some food for thought there. And then looking at the following, so take that out to like 60 days. Then the energy is very, very different. And we have Justice, which is, giving us a sense of fairness and balance. And we have the King of Cups. And Dax just talked, said a lot of great things about the King of Cups. So we could be more in the heart space, feeling our emotions, and also like sort of assessing like what the next move is, because we have the 3 of Wands. Now, the 3 of Wands sometimes indicates like the need to, to kind of wait and let things unfold, like watching your ship come in, literally, in the card. And then when we take it out to the full 90 days, so say 90 days from now got some good stuff happening. Now it's time to move ahead. We've got the Knight of Pentacles. We're not, racing to do anything, but we're like, okay, we're making good, steady progress. And we have the 6 of Pentacles, too, where, there's that idea of generosity. So there may be a gift, coming in. It could be in the form of money, but just that sense that, like, okay, things are moving ahead. Look, things are coming in now. This is all really good. So that's what I get. Let's see what Dax has.
And then I want to tell you what that means. And I know what you're picking up on. Do you want me to wait until Jax is done?
No, you can go ahead right now. Yeah.
It's so funny because I think you're picking up basically because the only really issue I have, everything else is wonderful. There's just one person. I love my job. There's one particular person that's making it hard for me lately. I don't know if something happened to her at work. And you're absolutely right. I am just sitting back to let it ride because you can't act like that. It always catches up with somebody when they try. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking the worst of it, and I just have to let it go. Okay, that's what it's one person. Everyone else is wonderful. But she does. And I think that's what you're picking up on.
Yeah. Yeah, that and that's hard. It's hard to know how to deal with those situations, isn't it?
I know.
Let's see what Jax has.
Oh, it's interesting that you told us that because the first card I got was the Five of Wands, that conflict, energy, and that's for July for the next 30 days anyway, and it looks like that's what you're going to be.
To make it that way. I know. Oh, go on.
Yeah,
but I stay low.
I think you'll get clear of it by July, by August. Yeah, I'm trying. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this in my head. July, August, September. Yeah. Okay. Now, I did pull in. I pulled 3 cards for the 3 months, but I also did an overarching card, which is the Four of Wands, and this is a card that talks about celebrations and graduations and bar mitzvahs and birthdays and weddings, and so throughout the summer, it looks like you're going to have a lot of that happening, and it's kind of God, I can't talk today. It's kind of an overarching energy where, that's what you want to be doing. You don't want to be doing anything serious in the summer here. You want to have, I mean, you're probably working. You probably have to deal with that person. There's all this stuff. Yeah. I understand. But what I'm saying is in the rest of your life, just party. Just enjoy. If you get invited to a wedding, if you get invited to a bar mitzvah, if you get invited to a quinceañera, I can't even say that. If you get invited to a birthday, if it's your birthday, if it's someone else, just enjoy it. And just don't worry about things until fall. Is basically the whole thing I'm, kind of getting here, Sharon. And then, you're still going to have to deal with that conflict at work with the Five of Wands over the next, 4 weeks or so, through July. By August, it clears up and we move into this Knight of Swords energy. You're going to get more focused. You might discover, because the Knight of Swords, and remember Mary was talking about all those swords, and the Knight of Swords is going from a lot of swords to a single sword. So swords are thoughts and ideas. So there might be a new idea, a new passion that you just latch on to, and then it fully manifests in September. In September, the energy completely changes because all of these cards are minor arcana cards, and we only get a major arcana card when we finally get to September, which is Judgment. So I call Judgment the cosmic wake-up call. And so this is going to be life-changing in September.
Okay.
Does any of that make sense to you?
Yeah, I think it's all flowing together. I understand what you mean. And yes, when I worry about something, I do get into my head. She was absolutely right. I do.
Yeah. Yes. Well, thanks for the call, though, Sharon. You'll have to call us back and let us know what happened.
Thank you, both of you. Okay, thank you.
Have a great weekend.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Yeah, well, that's the thing about general readings, though, is like I don't mind doing general readings, but I usually spend 40 minutes doing a general reading. And when you're doing a quick reading on the air for a couple of minutes, it's hard to get detail. It's more overarching themes, and we kind of got to give them the information and let them run with it. Either something will click right away, like it did with Sharon, or they might need to sit with the information, and like days, even weeks later, it makes sense then. So anyway, just to let everybody know that's holding on the line, if you have a specific question, a burning question, something you need an answer to, that's going to be the easiest, or I don't want to say the easiest, but the most information we're going to be able to give you and help you with. I'm not saying not to do, Mary, I'm not saying not to do general readings, but what I'm saying is that you can't get as much information out, than you can with a singular question. So I'm just going to leave it at that, And our next caller is area code 520. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Wow, I am lucky. This is Lisa from Arizona.
Hey, Lisa.
Hi.
It doesn't even sound like you. Do you have a cold, or did your voice get deeper?
All of that. I don't know. I got in late last night from a long trip, and then that's I think that's a major part where my voice is like that. And then allergy, man, it's bad allergies where I'm at. And
oh yeah, we're in it now here in Arizona.
It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah.
Gratitude.
What's going on with you?
Well, I wouldn't mind a general reading in the way that for the next several months. I got a letter yesterday, and it had to do with a project that I'm working on, and it was a surprise event that took place, major in my life. And so I'm just looking for maybe a general reading, please, and how you see the next few months coming out.
Well, I'm a little confused because you said that the general, but then you actually brought up a specific. So,
okay.
I mean, which one or what's going on with that specific thing? It'd be a lot easier just to, if you don't beat around the bush. There is a specific question you have about that thing. Tell me what that is, and then
we're on the radio and everybody's listening, as we all do. I listen to other people's stories, and I'm familiar with their stories.
To give names and specifics, but just what's going on with that.
I would even take a general if you see the final conclusion coming out positive. I lost someone very close to me, and it wasn't a family member. We weren't blood connected, but so I'm having to do a lot of tying up stuff or finalizing stuff. And so I'm just wondering if you see positivity or struggles or obstacles or whatever life boomeranging on me, or I'm open to positive, though. I'm holding out my arms to positive.
Well, that's the way to do it. We just talked about the card of the day and the numerology of the day and the magician card and manifesting. Too much of it is, and here we are, we're reading tarot cards, and the way people look at it is they always look at it as, read my cards, what's going to happen, fate, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In reality, we manifest everything.
Yeah.
And so, by you choosing to focus on the positive outcome, you're going to manifest that. If we dwell on the negative and we keep focusing on that, we're just going to draw more of it in. I mean, I see a little bit of balancing act with the Two of Coins over the next few months. This could be more financial than anything else, and it could be, dealing with their final expenses, final things, wrapping that all up. I see you working on that. You're working hard on that. Everything coming out, though, is positive in the outcome. And I'm getting all positive. There's no negative cards here. Everything is positive, positive, positive. I mean, the only thing that even hints at negative is the Two of Coins, and that's a card of, balance And I mean, literally in the card, he's balancing on a tightrope, holding 2 coins, right? You know.
Yeah.
And something is going to come. There's going to be a new opportunity career-wise that's going to come in over the next 3 months with the Ace of Coins, and it leads to the Ten of Coins. It leads to really positive and future financial and material outcomes, and the development of legacy is what I'm feeling like.
Nice.
Everything you've been doing is great, and I know you're focused on that, but I feel this, with it being an ace, I think it's new, and I think it's something totally going to come from out of left field that is really going to set you up, and I don't know how that. I don't know that has anything to do with the passing of your friend, if there's a tie-in there, or if that's just in addition to. But that's what's coming up in the cards, so I'm just telling you. But let's see. Mary might have some more information, too.
Thank you.
What do you get, Mary?
Thank you.
Well, I kind of did it like I did for the last caller and kind of broke it into, like, chunks of, like, 30 days, each. And the the first, this time right now, and for, the next couple weeks or so here, it's like the most difficult time, and difficult in that, I've got the Fool card, the Moon card, and the 5 of Wands. And so, boy, it can be an inner struggle as well as, a competitive thing with the 5 of Wands. But, in the Moon card, I just feel like this is an uncertain time with something that you're dealing with. And also, you may be a bit emotional, too, and just feeling like, I don't know what's going to happen with it, that uncertainty of the Moon and that sort of spontaneous energy of the Fool card combined, and then we end with the 5 of Wands with that, and that's like, I think in this case, it could be, struggle in some way, or conflict or challenges with other people, but they're not ones that have a lasting impact. They will be overcome. And then when we move on to the next 60 days, it really changes. It's interesting. I have the 6 and the 7 of Pentacles. So it could be something that we've been waiting for to come in that actually winds up being like in the form of a gift. It could even be some sort of money. It doesn't have to be. And then the Ace of Cups, much like Dax got the Ace of Pentacles, can signify like, something new coming in, new opportunity that with the Cups cards that like it's a new, it's got an emotional aspect to it. Sometimes that even represents new love. And then the last 30 days of this, so like, in that last 30 days of this next 90 days is when we get the 10 of Cups. So again, very much like Dax going from the Ace of Coins to the 10 of Coins, I'm going from the Ace of Cups to the 10 of Cups. So I think that, kind of really blends together that whatever this is, whatever this new opportunity is that ends up manifesting in a lot of satisfaction and happiness and contentment, that's going to be a good thing. And then also, the very last thing I get in that last 30 days, I get the 2 cards, the Page of Swords. So you could very well hear about this. You're going to be contacted about this opportunity perhaps. And with the 6 of Wands, that's a card of success, but also getting attention, recognition, acknowledgement, feeling appreciated. So this is good. It's just right now it's just like, uncertain and just, hang in there. Hang in there for this time right now, because it's definitely going to get better all around.
Just hang in there, Lisa. Just hang in there. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thanks for the call. I had to mute her line because, oh my God, I was getting all kinds of background noise. It was really bad there. Anyway, give us a call, folks, 714-816-4628. Do you believe it's already past the bottom of the hour already? Where's the time? We didn't even do the psychic spin yet, and it just like went zipping by just on a couple of callers here. Do you want to tell everybody what's coming up on the network, and then we're going to do the psychic spin and take more calls?
I am too excited to tell people what is coming up on the Psychic Talk Radio Network, but here we go. This is thrilling. This is what's next. And our next show is actually going to be on Monday, June 27th. It would have been tomorrow, but Sharona Rafsick is on break tomorrow, and she will be back with the Magic Universe on Sunday, July 10th. So our next show is Monday, June 27th, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. It is the Wisdom of the Soul show with your host, Janice Fuchs. And then I will be back next Saturday, July 2nd, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, with my show, There's a Rock for That. And I'm going to have on a very special guest that we had on the Tarot Today radio show, Raven Digitalis. And we're going to be talking about empathy and being an empath and what all that's about. Plus, you taking your calls for free crystal mini readings for the month of July. Happens to be something very special. So special, I'm not even going to tell you yet.
Oh.
Write it down. I feel
I'm
like
sitting here waiting for you to tell me because...
Yeah. I don't know why, but I'm in my head, meteorites. I don't know why.
I thought we already did meteorites. Or... I don't know. I might be a little confused. I
was going
I think
but I didn't. Meteorite.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I have, everything down here tentatively for your There's a Rock for That show, but like a lot of stuff I have it just marked to be announced because I don't know what it's supposed to be. Meteorites. Okay. I'm just trying to look on here because taking mental notes. What do I need to add in? I thought I'm on the Tarot Guild site. Maybe it's on the site. It was going to be last month, but I didn't do my show last month, so now it is. Oh. This month. Oh, I get it. Okay. So I didn't talk about we're going to do meteorite. Now that I remember it. Yeah, because I actually wanted to hear about that. It's not your typical, people talking about crystals in general that are from the earth, so it was very fascinating. Oh, hey, I am and not then I got your typical anything, baby. You were going to say something, like and then I Yeah. You were going to say something, Mary, and then I got something else to follow up on the schedule thing here. Yeah, I just wanted to mention real quickly, I was looking in the chat room, and Danny said he sees 1111 at least once a day. It literally never fails. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We had that synchronicity today. All the ones. It's typically a starting off point in psychic development, and early on, going back decades and decades, I was seeing 1111, and that I think of always as a cosmic wake up, or if something special happening in your life right now. But typically it's a new awakening, and then you'll start seeing angel numbers. You'll start seeing your 1111. Your 111, your 444. Not that 1111 is not an angel number. It is. That will take a whole show to explain master numbers and angel numbers, so we won't get into that. But 444 and 666 and 888, and all the angel numbers. Angel numbers can also just be a set of numbers that keeps recurring. You see it on a license plate, then on an address, then somewhere else written down, then in a phone number, and it just keeps popping up over and over again. So I used to see 1111 a lot, years ago, but not as much now. And so when it does come up, like today, Mary, where I was seeing the 1111 and then seeing it again, it's even more impactful for me now, because that's really when Spirit is trying to like tell you something, you know. The other thing I wanted to mention was you may have noticed on the upcoming shows list that I don't have any of Catherine Hahn's show, Spiritual Guidance Radio. And the reason for that is Catherine decided to take a summer break. And so I haven't gotten the posts up here yet and gotten that out to everybody. It was kind of sudden, you know, she wasn't you know, planning on a summer break, but then all this stuff has come up with her two sons. You know, they have a lot they want to do this summer, which is really great, you know, and plus Catherine's other, you know, muggle job. And so she decided she needed to take July and August off. She'll be back in September, and, you know, I'll get something posted about that. But I just wanted to mention that for everybody that are wondering, you know, what happened to Spiritual Guidance Radio. It's just on summer hiatus.
Break.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just want to let everybody know. And what you were going to talk, the other thing that I don't have the information on yet about your show on the 2nd is when you're having Raven on again. Raven, you mentioned you were going to talk about his crystal book, but I didn't even know he did a crystal book. I don't have the title of it.
Well, yes, I will send that to you.
Get that all to me. Get that to me.
But
I know. Get that to
me. It's a book on entities, and the reason he's coming on the Rock Show, and this is really exciting for me, is that he in a book that he wrote on empathy, he talks about a lot of crystals that can help people who are empaths. You know, people who are empathic and they feel like, you know, help them to sort of clear up what's their energy versus what somebody else's energy is. And there's certain crystals I use for empathy as well. And so we're going to just get together and really dig into that. So I think that'll be a fun show for everybody, especially if you feel you're an empath and you're wondering like, hey, can I work with certain crystals for that? Yes, you can, and we're going to tell you all about it.
Oh, see, that's going to be great because I'm definitely empathic, and I think people can get a lot of help because especially if you are, you know, just new figuring that out and dealing with it, and to have, you know, resources like the crystals, you know, that's going to help a lot. And the only other thing I wanted to mention before we do the psychic spin and go back to phone calls is it was just my birthday, June 16th, and it's Pride Month all month long. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm 2 clicks away from 60. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. But I wanted to mention that if you go to thetarotguild.com, right next to our Radleigh Valentine interview that you can listen to right there on the main page, you'll also see a nice rainbow colorful banner with my picture on it, and it says Celebrating Pride Month and Dax's birthday. And we got some specials going, and just click on that banner. It'll take you over. If you're a professional tarot advisor already, you can get certified for basically half price. It's just $67, usually 2 payments of $67 or $124 for the certification for Certified Tarot Reader. It's just 1 payment of $67 right now. You can join the Tarot Guild for $1 a month, and then you'll be able to access the private premium members group. Right there on the group is a link to apply for certification, and you'll get the discount. The other special, you can enroll in my Tarot and Numerology course, Tarot by the Numbers, for just $97. That's $200 off, folks. The regular price is $297. It's just $97 for my birthday and Pride Month. And certification that I was just talking about is included. So if you want to enroll in the course, don't apply the normal way because you're going to get it included. Just enroll in the course. You get both for $97. It's great deal. Oh, and you don't have to do anything for that one. You just go over to on the website where it says Learn Tarot, just, click the quick link button or go to learn.thetarotguild.com, and it's already discounted for you. Discounted $200 off. And then private sessions with me. If you want to talk about your tarot business, do some, business coaching or success coaching, life coaching, tarot reading, numerology, you can get a session, book a session with me for just $67, regularly $97, and that could be via email or live for around 30, 40 minutes or so. We do it, and I'm going to include your full custom numerology chart and report with that. So regularly $97, just $67, $30 off during our June Pride Month specials here. So go check that out over at thetarotguild.com. All righty. So, Mary, the psychic spin.
Yes.
Woohoo! Oh,
this is exciting.
Is the universe developing consciousness? And so what do we want to ask about that? How do we want to do that?
Well, I mean, that's a great question. Is it becoming conscious or is it already conscious? We could ask, in what ways is it conscious, if at all?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to pull some... I'm going to go on another angle. I mean, slightly... Let's see here. Pulling cards. Oh, okay. I did my cut to the heart of the matter. That's when I shuffle the deck and reassemble it, cut the deck, and as you're cutting, the card that ends up on the bottom, I call it cutting to the heart of the matter, and I got the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands. And then I looked at it from a yes-no kind of spread point of view, doing my typical 5-card work. What I wanted to know is I just flat out, because I'm coming from an idea in my head that they've got it backwards. That, I'm listening to Joe Rogan and his guests talk about, is the universe developing consciousness? And I keep getting in my head while I was listening to that podcast that it already was conscious, and that's why we have the universe. It's the other way around, So I asked that question, yes or no, is the universe already or started out conscious or from consciousness, and got 2 major arcana cards and 2 yes cards, and then the Queen of Swords. And so, it's a heavy 4-card out of 5 yes, Mary, for me, that we have it backwards. The universe is already conscious. And I think that's a lot of the issues. I'm trying to remember something else that I was looking into. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to find. Unfortunately, I don't have the notes on this thing that I was going to talk about, but it's okay. I'll come at it from a different direction, and I feel that a lot of this is the major problem, that we look at things backwards. We're trying to explain things like, where is consciousness? The neurologists are still trying to figure out. There's a lot of them are saying, it's not in the brain; it's in the morphic field around the body. and this is hardcore neuroscientists. This is not, metaphysicians out here, right? It's, of course, we've been saying that for years, but the hard sciences are starting to figure this out. That the brain itself, the physicality, is not where consciousness and the memories are actually residing. That the brain is more like an antenna and a computer processing unit than it is where consciousness comes from. So I think that's the main mistake. And the reason why it's going to take them longer than it should for science to get to the bottom of these things is because they're coming from a totally 180-degree backwards premise. They're trying to figure out how does physical structure in the universe, namely our brains, manifest consciousness. And the truth of the matter is that it isn't, that the consciousness was there first and the material is manifesting from it. So it's not that the universe is developing consciousness. It already was consciousness, and what we experience as time and space, matter and energy, arose out of the consciousness. What do you think of that, Mary?
Yeah. That's what I think, yeah. No, I agree. Like the question I asked was, in what ways is the universe if it is,
Oh, yeah, I like that.
The very first card I got, I feel like was sort of, answering like the whether or not it is or not, and it's interesting. It was another 4. You got the 4 of Wands. I got the 4 of Cups, and to me that's saying like, we're not looking at the right things to really perceive it. Like we're not even seeing the ways in which it's conscious. We're not aware of it, and maybe in some ways there's a lot of people on the planet that don't want to be aware of it. They don't want to think that we live in a universe that's conscious. They don't even want to think that animals are sentient. There's that sort of thing. So, that's just to let me know, like, hey, yes, but people aren't picking up on it. They're not looking in the right places. They're not seeing it right in front of their faces. The 8 of Wands comes up. So I think that really coincides with what you're saying, because it's like from that very first spark and that very first moment. And I got the Judgment card. I got the 3 of Cups. And then I got the Death card. And remember, the question that I asked was, in what ways is it conscious? I think it's conscious when we have those big moments that are indicated in the Judgment card. Right? Those cosmic wake-up calls, those karmic keys jingling, those major decisions that we have to make. I feel like it's conscious of it, and there's a connection there. The 3 Cups, when we feel that, that those feelings of joy and happiness, and so like when you're hanging out with your friends and you're having a good time, and there's just the feeling is so uplifting, and you feel like you're on a high because you had such a great time. The universe is conscious of that. And the Death card, when we go through a major transformation, when we die, when we lose someone, the universe is conscious of it. So sorry, I've got barking dogs, but yeah, so that's what I got.
You got an Ace card, and so did I. I got the Ace of Coins. And with the aces, it's the full embodiment, the potential of the entire suit and that element, which in this case is Earth, and is talking about the material realm. It's reinforcing my idea that we have this backwards, that it's all coming out of that. And then the overarching card that I picked, which is the 4 of Wands, which is very interesting because that's the overarching card I got for our caller. I swear I shuffled. Yeah. Remember, you got a 4 card. I got a 4. 4 is structure. Okay, and the material universe, even energy, because we know that energy is equal to mass times the speed of light squared, that it is mass, and so what we experience as the material realm is structure arising from the underlying consciousness. Scientists call it the 0-point field, the quantum field, and so the consciousness is the actioner, the activator, the putting it into motion in the first place. The whole reason, why do we even have time and space? Well, it's so we can have experience, because without time and space, everything happens all at once, which is what's happening in the spiritual realm. Yeah. So in order for us to experience, it's necessary to create this artificial, it's not really artificial, but it goes to what, when people talk about game theory and they start talking about things like, are we living in the Matrix? And we've done that in the psychic spin too, right?
I was going to say, we are those people that talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, are we? But you see it a lot on YouTube and even scientists, talking about. I'm trying to remember the right word for it, but it's living in an artificial construct is what is that what's really going on? And the cosmologists postulate about there's only one brain, and everything is a matrix-like constructed thing. And I think that's right to a certain extent, but it's not. The thing that we mess up is that, especially when you start talking to people in general terms and you start talking about things like the movie The Matrix, you're thinking of an artificial constructed realm like The Matrix, which is program, right? And the thing about the artificial one are that if you look at the edges, remember the glitch in the Matrix kind of thing, and you can and the virtual artificial versions they're only manifesting it, putting it out there if you're observing it, and then when you turn away, it doesn't bother to use all that computing program power to render that part of the simulation. So it just drops. It just drops that, and you can see the edges, and you can see the glitches. But see, it's not a computer program. It's sort of a simulation, but it's made out of real matter. Matter really exists. So does time and space. So does the energy. It's really there, but it was created. It wasn't there before. They're trying to think of it the other way around. Big Bang, universe is created. It gets so complex, maybe even the universe itself is developing consciousness. No. 180 degrees backwards. Consciousness, not having a way to experience, decides to create time and space. And then through natural entropy and then eventually my mind just blanked here. Darwin. What am I trying to think of, Mary?
Evolution.
Evolution, yeah. Through natural evolution, things get more complex, and we're able to have a separate sentient experience from that consciousness. We're like a bit of the consciousness, but we are still the consciousness. So the scientist concept of there's the one brain. In fact, this was on Star Trek Strange New Worlds earlier this week. talk about the synchronicities. They actually talked about this scientific theory, this concept of there's this one brain and everything else is a simulation manifesting from it, you know. And so we just have it backwards, where it's consciousness creating the simulation, which is still real. I mean, we're really here. There's real matter. There's atoms and quarks and subatomic particles. There's the chair over there, and we're experiencing time the way we're experiencing it because of space-time, just as explained by Einstein. But that can be warped, it can be stretched, and it can be messed with, you see. And that's why we're able to experience linear time and actually have experiences, and that's the whole reason why we're here, And I just I feel like that's what these cards are talking about. We got the Queen of Swords, the thoughts, and the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Coins, talking about that whole the entire potential of the physical realm, the universe, comes from the consciousness. I got the Temperance card, the marrying of opposites, the balance. We tend to think of this in polar opposites, Mary. It's either or. Either the universe is conscious or it's not. Either it started this way or it started that way. When in reality, the truth is in the middle, that it's a little of both, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. And just that Four of Cups that I got at the start, like, I think really it sort of explains everything. We're not looking at it the right way, like you said, And also, I can't help but, think of dolphins now that you mentioned dolphins twice on the show.
And they appeared in my car, too.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because, like, when it comes to dolphins, I think they're a great sort of example like this. We look at them in a very different way. We're like, oh, it's a mammal. It's a fish. It's a mammal. It's a fish. It's a mammal. What is it? But we kind of like look at it from that perspective of like trying to quantify it or classify it. Put it in a box. That kind of thing. But I mean, dolphins could build their own civilization just like us if they wanted to, probably better than us if they had hands and opposable thumbs,
Yeah, why can't it be different?
Could be better.
That's the thing.
And the other thing is that I just want to say this real quick because I think it ties into the Four of Cups is that, so we perceive them from our perspective. The thing is, though, how often are we thinking about the actual fact that they have a much broader range when it comes to their auditory range. They're hearing things we can't even imagine hearing, but those things
I think their brains
are still
actually
making
bigger.
noises. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and
so,
that analogy, you just made me think of something else because the analogy you made, us to the dolphins, it can also be like us or sentient beings to the consciousness of the universe. So they are so different and perceive things differently than we do. They're not going to want to build cities. Why would they want to? They have the water. They have the whole environment. Why would you want to build a city? It's like, well, if they're so smart, why don't they have cars? They don't need cars. They don't need them. They're developed in a completely different way. They may have psychic abilities that we don't have, or are more tapped into.
Yes.
Because of the fact that they don't have to deal with all the physicality crap that we have to deal with. But it's just completely different. Dolphins don't think like humans. Humans don't think like dolphins. Well, it's the same thing with this question of the consciousness of the universe, because if you think about it, if the universe is conscious, even going down the rabbit hole the other direction when they were talking about, the universe, is it becoming conscious, which I think is backwards, like I've said. But let's go with it for a second. So the universe develops consciousness. It's not going to think like humans. And this is a great analogy for the mistake, I think, when with religious people that are thinking of the God, and they try to ascribe human concepts, feelings, thought patterns, and qualities to the God. And if whether you're talking about the consciousness of the universe and the creation of the universe out of some divine consciousness that existed before, or even God, if that's the way you perceive this is God, either case, they existed before the universe existed. Before the universe existed, there was no humans. So therefore, the way humans think, experience, and process whatever it is, the primordial consciousness out of which everything comes, God, if you want to go down that route, God doesn't think like a human, people, and it makes so much more sense when you start to realize that. And the things that we basically put in his mouth. So a lot of the things that you read in the Bible and other religious texts that put this stuff in the mouth of God. God was angry, and what? How can an all overarching consciousness or a supreme being, be angry? Especially when angry is what? A human emotion. They're not human. Yeah. They're not going to experience that like we do. It's no.
Well, I think also, we have to have an acknowledgement of our own limitations, and so describing God as angry as it is in some religious texts, I think it's really that again.
Or even the opposite, loving.
It comes down to perception. So, right. It says that's how we perceive that energy. That's the best vocabulary we have for it. But I don't think it ever describes anything in its entirety.
And we don't have the ability.
We're just limited. No.
Yeah.
To comprehend.
I don't think we will never, I don't think, get to that point unless we, re-merge with the consciousness, and maybe that's what happens when we leave this realm.
Die.
Maybe that's what. Yeah. Anyway, any other questions we can ask about that, or did we pretty much cover it?
I think we covered it.
It was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, that was a great question for psychics.
Yeah. And this is stuff that, I could talk 3-4 hours on, but we only have a limited time.
But we're already out of time.
I know. Are we going to squeeze another call in? Or are you ready to go now?
Let's squeeze one more in. One more.
Okay. We'll just do one more. We're going to go to area code 289. Are you there, caller?
Hello. Hi.
Are you there? What's your name, hon?
Hi.
I'm good. Hi, my name's Lindsay. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Great,
how are
Lindsay.
you?
Oh, not too bad. I guess I just wanted to know, I've been kind of going back and forth with a big decision, and I've tried doing it multiple times over the last 2 years, but now I have babies, so I just want to know if I do get the strength and the confidence to move forward with this, is it going to go smoothly, or is it going to go as it's gone in the past and be very difficult?
Okay. So this big decision, if you go for it, how's it going to go, right?
Yeah, and I feel like it's something that's going to better my life. It's just always been very difficult.
Okay. Let's just see what comes up on it. What you're talking about. The first thing that comes up is the Judgment card, which represents big decisions. Again. So it's a big decision. And above it is the Temperance card. And look, what's really great is, wow, like this is a big change for you. The Death card is in the past position. So it's saying like, okay, this decision is like part of this transformation. You know, you want to transform your life in some way, perhaps. And the Temperance card, you know, kind of reminds us that, like, look, you know, sometimes, even when it's a big, big moment in life, we have to keep in mind, you know, like, okay, you know, one foot in the water, you know, that's in the flow and the currents that we're experiencing, and the other one on the ground. And just take that middle path and everything in moderation to the extent that you can, and a calm mindset about it as you go through a major change like that. So don't let all the worries of what happened in the past, because the Death card's in the past, saying like, no, guess what? This time we're really transforming with this. And then in the future, I've got the Strength card. So to me, this is saying like, yes, this is going to go well. The only other card that I got was the King of Wands. And so the King of Wands, I feel like it's saying like that might be a good sort of, you know, like kind of a talisman for you in a sense, you know, that you remember that you can make your own luck with this, that you just have to like be adaptable to these changes and take the initiative, you know, that fire energy. And you can truly, you know, create something really great out of this, something that's going to have that strength to it, that stability to it, that sense of like, okay, you know, this has a sustaining power to it this time. But let's see what Dax is getting and see if he has more insight for you.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That makes me feel a little bit better about the situation.
Yay!
Yeah, it's going to get better. It's definitely going to get better, or work out this time, I should say, put it that way. You know, I agree with what Mary had to say, and the cards I'm getting are like really positive. So just real quick. God, I can't talk today. I swear to God. The Wheel of Fortune. You know, it's like it's if you go for it this time, this time's going to be different. It's turning in your favor. It could be very lucrative, very good material-wise, because the 10 of coins shows up, and then I get the 6 of wands, which is literally the success card. So it's looking really, really great. And I got the overarching card that I pulled was the Emperor, which is card 4. So we're talking about structure. I just feel like that's a hint towards you might get the best outcome from working within structure, some kind of structure that's going to, you know, keep it all together. I'm trying to leave a bad
relationship, and I've been trying to leave a bad relationship for the last 4 years, and every time it's never worked. So I'm hoping that this time and everything is good. You're going to feedback. You guys are saying it's all going to go well this time.
I think you're going to be successful at it this time, and basically what it is you need that structure. You need the support system, the foundation, family, friends, a confidant, a wise person to speak to, and then just surround it by, you know, a group of friends, and you get help from everybody. It's like, you know, I'm leaving Fred. This is what's happening, you know, and just tell the whole frickin' world. And you know, it's like, you've got to be my bubble, you know, and I think then you'll be successful using the structure. Thanks for the call.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks so much.
Enjoy the rest of the weekend, Lindsay. Absolutely. And here we are at the end of the show. Thanks, Mary. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks, Dad. Yes, this was a blast. And thanks to all our callers and listeners in the chat room. We wouldn't have a show without y'all, as we say down here in Texas.
Yeah. Y'all. Even in Arizona. Y'all. Okay,
y'all.
everybody. And Mary will be back next week.
Bye,
everybody. Good night,
Bye.
Mary Ellen.